Alright, good evening. Okay, we're on the front calipers. I've done one already. I wasn't going to pull them apart, I was just going to flush them out, but yeah, it has been sitting for 4 years. I mean, they're working fine when I pulled off the road, but yeah, it's been sitting for a while, so I figured I really should, and yeah, after doing the other one, the other one was absolutely full of crap, and gunk and old fluid and sludge and whatever else. I had put these in sandblaster. Obviously the flexible brake line was on it, and it was taped up at the end, and I made sure I didn't get any sand within the system itself. And I painted the steel part black, and I put a bit of clear on the alloy, but because when I go to clean it, it'll muck that up a bit. But anyway, I can redo that later. I've got to, before I get it registered, I'll be replacing the flexible lines anyway. They're getting pretty old and they're getting a bit gunked up, and what happens with the flexible lines is they swell up and eventually they'll just block the fluid altogether. Like they swell up and they start allowing less fluid coming through them, and yeah, it does affect your brakes. But for the moment, this will be getting driven from one shed to the other, and I won't even be getting out of first gear, so as long as they work well enough to do that for the time being, well, yeah, that'll do. I can't actually afford the lines at the moment. I've got too many other expenses, but yeah, as I said, the flexible lines will get replaced before rego. Anyway, get on with it. I'll show you how to get these apart. You notice I've got a fair bit of rag packed in here, and that's to prevent the piston flying out. I've left the things on. There's no point in taking that off anyway, the bracket. And if they're different to yours, to your WB, well, what I found, I was actually looking for the torque setting for the caliper. This like a 3/8 size bolt, fine thread, hardened steel bolt that obviously has a pretty big torque, and I couldn't find the torque setting, so I'm going to have to wait. I can go to the library on Tuesday and look it up in the book. But every video I looked at, HQ, HJ, HZ, they all had different calipers, so they must have changed the calipers every year. So, and I said, this van's a WB, but all the running gear is HZ, so if it's different to your WB, well, it's because it's HZ. But it may even be different to some of the HZs. Anyway, there you go. It comes out with a fair bit of force. So, as I said, you want to cover it up. And also, you don't want the fluid blowing out all over you, either going in your eyes or anything else. So, that's why you cover it up. Okay, there's our piston. Take our rubber off now. Possibly, could or should have taken that off first, but it's just easier to get out after the piston's out. So, that way. I will wash that, but I'm not going to soak it because, solvents tend to have an effect on rubber and make them swell up, and so I've learnt to not soak rubber pieces. Wash them quickly, dry them out. Don't leave them soak. Anyway, we'll stick the piston in there. go over where you can see now. Yeah. Have a look at the crud that's in that. It's just, yeah, filthy gunk. So, yeah, they really did need to be pulled apart. Anyway, I'll proceed to wash them out. I'll wash the piston first. Okay. Enter over here. And this is probably going to be another long video. I don't really make long videos. Tempted to do just a part 2 or something. I mean, I should actually learn how to edit and, yeah, fast forward things, but anyway. Right. As I mentioned before, methylated spirits, what we call metho in Australia. We have slang terms for just about everything in Australia. And yeah, you're probably Australian watching this anyway if you're dressed in the WB Holden. You would have already heard that term a million times. But yeah, vagabond brake clean it. Yeah. $15 to $20 a bottle. It's $5 a bottle. Okay, this is going to sting my finger, injure my finger on the wire wheel the other day. So, this is a, this looks like a chrome, it's like a chrome piston to me, so I'm not going to put emery on there. Not even going to put it on the wire wheel, because I don't want to scratch or wear through the chrome. So yeah, just using a scourer. This is like a paint scourer that you'd get from your paint supplies. A bit tougher than your normal kitchen scourer. So we'll wash all this crud off and start with. There's, yeah, piston in good shape. There's no major scores in it. So, well, actually there's a couple of lines in there. Ooh. I say, yeah, the other one was alright, but that's not good. That's not good. You can see that. Lines there. Lines over the other side. They're quite deep. Now, I'm going to have to use emery. That'll leak. Okay, where are we going? 400. It's still in the other wash tank. How is it? Yeah, as I spoke too soon, the other one was in good shape. The other one didn't have any scores in it. So I said I wasn't going to use emery because it appears to be chrome. But I don't really have that option there. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming off anyway. So. Once again, as with the wheel cylinder, go around it, don't go up and down. It's a pretty deep score actually. coming out. It's going to take a little while, depending on how we go for time. I don't know if I'll make a full assembly video of this or not. It might take me an hour to get these scratches out yet. Well, these weren't leaking. You'd think they were. They wouldn't, believe it. He said they weren't leaking when I was driving it. Unless they've got in or when I pumped it out. And dirt being under the rubber or something. Yeah. Wondering now whether I should have actually taken the rubber off and cleaned it before popping the piston out. I said I've never actually done that before, you know, I always just popped them out and then cleaned them, but I said I didn't have any issues with the other one. The other one came out and it was, just give it a quick clean with the scourer and it was fine. Yeah, this is going to take me a while. I'm going to be a good hour trying to scrub these scratches out. Right, so we'll leave that for the moment. Okay, what I'm just going to do now is run over a few pointers. These are the pins that go in the caliper. I'll give this a quick scrub. Let's have a look at the walls of this. Walls, like I said, if there's, you know, like you still be gentle with it, but it wouldn't really matter if there was scratches in the walls of the cylinder because the seal, the O-ring seal is in the cylinder, you know, in the caliper itself, in the cylinder. It's not on the piston, so I said it wouldn't really matter if there was scratches in the wall because it wouldn't really make any difference. I said, yeah, the sides of the piston is where that seal is going to run on, so that's where it does matter. And so yeah, I said I won't be reassembling it in this video because it looks like I'm going to have to spend an hour trying to get them scratches out. If I had money to spare right now, I'd be putting this in the bin, go and buy a new one. But sometimes you just got to make do what you got. And you've got to make what you got work. And this is one of those situations. Yeah. Okay, we've got that scrubbed. Now we're going to get the seal out. I don't know if you can see this, and I got this in view of the camera. Right, and this rubber seal is one side's wider than the other. It's beveled, and the high side is at the bottom. It's the low side at the top, high side at the bottom, and that's the way it has to go back in. So yeah, be real careful getting these out. Don't want to bust them. Okay. So take that out, we'll give that a wash. Also down in here, a little bit of crud. Like I'm using a screwdriver, but I'm only just loosening it, doing it very lightly. I'll get the brush in there shortly and clean that out. Anyway, leave that for a moment to there's not much to show. That's a fibre brush. Yeah. Got a wire brush here somewhere. Brush wire. This will probably get it out anyway. This is just a nylon type brush. So that's yeah, this is pretty important, that this area that your seal runs in is clean. Okay. If you've got any lumps of shit in there, the fluid will get in behind your seal and leak. And also make it press unevenly on the piston. So yeah, I have to find my wire brush. Alright, move on from that. Okay, these pins here, they're another thing that I'll scrub up with emery. They have a lip on the top, goes in the rubber seal. They seem to only go in one way. Let's see where the seal fits in there. And yeah, I had to push them out that way. Appeared to be, it's probably from the bolts actually. They're a bit burred on the ends and stuff, but yeah, they didn't want to push out that way. They only wanted to push out this way. So anyway, I'll scrub them up as well. That's the seal caps that go on it. That one's a bit out of shape. Hopefully I'll be able to press that back in, but yeah, because that's been not put in properly by whoever out of the part in the previous time. It's supposed to look like that, but yeah, so they just pop in there. They've got to go in there before you put your pin in. Obviously they've got to be clean first. Okay, yeah, when I'll go through the reassembly, I was going to show you, but yeah, I don't want to make a video that's 2 hours long. So as I said, it'll probably take me an hour to get them scratches out of that. Right, so when you go to refit this, you've got to examine it real close, find out which is the high side. And it's only like a couple of thou bigger. It's really not that easy to see, but anyway, so that's the high side, so that would go downwards. And yeah, get a little bit of grease, just wipe it around the edge, real thin, you don't need very much, okay, and that just helps stop fluid getting in around behind your seal. And yeah, once you get it in there, once the piston's cleaned up, then also run a very, very light film of grease on here. I'm talking really, really light. Okay, you can go a bit thicker up here, that's cool. You can put plenty on around that top, and that's a good thing actually. It's the seal that when it goes on, you can actually just about fill that with grease. And yeah, that'll stop dirt. The grease will stop dirt and water and everything getting under the rubber seal. It'll also prevent it rusting. So, but yeah, only a very, very light film on here, because it's not like an engine assembly where the oil's going to get in there and dilute the grease and blend in with it. You know, grease doesn't mix with brake fluid, so yeah, you don't want any amount of grease in there, or just cause gunk. So, but as I said, you put a very light film on that, and that just, you can use brake fluid. Yeah, I find grease is fine as long as long as you keep it real thin. Yeah, and it just helps it slip in that little bit easier. And what you find is that the rubber seal will push 95% of that grease off the piston anyway. So yeah, but yeah, same with these pins. Yeah, once they're clean, put grease around them, put grease down in here where they go in, put grease under the rubber cap. As I said, it keeps the dirt and water out and also stops it going rusty. So yeah. Alright, on to the other bit, the flexible hose. Okay. I said not the video I wanted to make. I was going to do a full reassembly, but yeah, I don't make videos that are 2 hours long. I don't think anybody bother to listen to me for 2 hours. Right. Now I've got what on hose. That's righty. Right. This is too big. Probably feels a new hose that would fit in there. Actually, it probably should go through, but it's not. So I've got another bit of wire here somewhere, thin a bit, down here on the floor. So the first thing I'm going to do is got a syringe here somewhere. I guess where you can't find things, it's time for a major clean-up. Junk everywhere. What the hell do I do with it? Just going to syringe a bit of, I'll throw down into the chair, but I'll run a bit down. I'll made it later anyway. But, keep my finger out of it, and my injured finger. Okay, it's actually running through. Or is it? No, it's not. Right. Yeah, so it's not running through. Okay. Yeah. So you get a bit of wire. As I said, I'd like to go a little bit thicker than this, but I said the next size up that I have in wire is too thick. Yeah, that's completely clogged up. That's the end that was at the caliper. Right. Yeah, you try and push wire through this and you just keep bending it. Right, so that's what you do. You save you trying to feed wire through and get just a little bit, any 1 inch or so. Push it through. I'm going to check that you can actually see this. One line to come? Yep. Okay. Okay. That's not what I intended to do. And to keep that straight. Now I've got a kink in it. You can see, just how clogged up this is. Like this should feed through here really simple, really easy. Yeah. What I'm going to do, now that I've kinked that, I'm going to start again. Got to pull it out first and let it jammed in there with me. So, yeah, I kinked up before, so it had too much sticking out for the amount of pressure I was putting on it. So. Let's turn a little bit. This will put blockage out. As I said, it hasn't swollen up completely. Sometimes you can't even do this, you can't even get a wire through it, it's just swollen right up. But that was just a blockage, a dirt blockage. It's actually going pretty easy now. Should be able to just push it. Get that again. And as I mentioned before, like, if this was going back on the road tomorrow, I wouldn't be doing this, I'd be just throwing it in the bin. Go and buy a new one, but this will be lucky to make it onto the road by the end of the year. Still got heaps to do to it. Painting it and everything else, building seats, building the interior. So, I got plenty of time to go and buy new ones of these. But in the meantime, I need it to work enough to be able to drive safely from one shed to the other. So that's the only reason I'm bothering with this. Right. Clear, I got through it, so okay. Now when I've found my syringe, I'll syringe some more metho through that and then blow it out with air. The other thing that wasn't on this, so that's supposed to have a copper washer on there. I found some, the other one didn't have one either. So I'm actually surprised that didn't leak out of there as well. And I've got metho on me cup now and it's stinking the crap out of me. Anyway, so that's basically about as much as I can show you, so we'll leave it at that. I said I was going to do a full clean out and assembly, but that's before I realised I'm going to have to spend an hour taking scratches off them pistons, and even after I do that, just through sanding them down, they may well leak. I may have to replace it yet anyway, but that's yet to be seen. So well, if I get the scratches out, if it does leak, it'll be minimal. Said once again, it'll be enough to get by for the time being, just driving it from shed to shed. So the other thing too is I was going to refit it. I've refitted this one on there, and I can't find torque settings anywhere. So can't find them on the internet, can't find them on YouTube. I've watched a couple of videos of other people doing calipers on these, and they don't give you the torque settings. So that'll be waiting now till Tuesday till I go in town, and I'll have to go to the library and look it up in the manual. And, I did have a manual for this long time back, 20 years back. Where that got to, I have no idea. But, I was really disappointed in it actually, because I bought the manual because the steering box was leaking, and I wanted the instructions. You didn't have YouTube 20 years ago, so and I wanted instructions on how to pull it apart and fix it up, and had a whole page explaining how the steering box works, and then at the bottom of the page it said, take it to your dealer. How useful is that? It's supposed to be a workshop manual. But it didn't tell you how to pull it apart. Anyway, so for anybody looking for the torque settings, I'll post them in the comments actually, or I'll post it in the description what the torque settings are once I've find them out. So in a lot of brake calipers, they're like a 2-pin setup. These are just a single, like your main bolts run through these pins, And they're a I'll show you the bolt. They're fine thread, probably about a 3/8 or something size. Hardened steel. Yeah. So that tells you straight off by looking at it, that's a really high torque bolt. You know, that's like, at a guess, 70-80 pound torque that you need to put on that bolt. But yeah, being yeah, a lot of things I just do up to what I know the bolt can handle. You know, like, I just go by feel because I've been doing it for a long time, you know, mucking around with cars and things. But certain things, yeah, you do need to do, you know, like, you know, for example, you know, all your motor engine parts, your big ends, mains, head bolts, all that sort of thing has to be done up to specific torque. You know, yeah, the bolts that go through your suspension components, it's important to do the right torque on them, and this is equally important. Yeah, it's only 2 bolts. These 2 bolts hold that caliper on. So for one, you don't want to over torque them, pull the threads out, snap the bolts or weaken them, and you don't want to come and loose either. So, you know, any of them things could cost you your life. So, yep, I'll be going looking for the correct torque for that, and yeah, when I find it out, I'll put it in the description, because nobody else on YouTube has bothered to give you the torque setting for it. So, okay, well, we'll leave it at that, and thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully catch you next time. Bye.